is good. There we go. Let's switch topics before it gets awkward.
As we see the next map, another TheOne choice. They are taking SPT to the map that they lost against Sunny Lion on, taking them to Infernal Shrines. A smart choice here.
You know what? I just want to see a Volskaya match. I really hope to see more Volskaya in the near future, because I really want to see how teams are going to adapt to these strong protectors right now. Like, oftentimes right now, protectors are so hard to defend against, and I can't wait to see how the meta is going to evolve. Like, are people or teams going to contest the first platform even more? Are they going to ignore the protector and then try to get split pushing value elsewhere? I think Volskaya is still so new and refreshing to see that I'm pretty sure not all the tricks have been found out and exposed just yet.
I just don't want to see more Praxis games.
Me too.
That is my thoughts on the matter, because I like the map. It is fun to cast. As we begin the draft, SPT, not being the ones to pick the map, are going to take the first ban here. What are their options?
All right. So, TheOne is currently down 0-1. Can they take it? Can they pull off the Illidan again? To be honest, it always seemed to me that when they were with their backs against the wall and they really wanted to come back into the game, then they needed to rely on Hugo carrying it. And the big thing about TheOne struggling up to this point in this phase is, of course, Hugo not playing other heroes he feels comfortable on. That's the second time he was forced on the Tyrael, a relatively passive defensive warrior. And whenever he is in that role of the secondary offlaner, he doesn't really seem to be super comfortable. When he goes on melee assassins, when he goes on aggressive bruisers, like the Leoric, like the Illidan, like the Sonya, that's where his team really starts to turn it up.
That is correct. And this is a map where he could definitely do the Leoric at minimum. Leoric and Sonya could be fantastic for him. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe going into one of those pretty soon, actually. We have seen multiple times in day number 1 where Sonya was picked pretty early. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that potentially come in. Maybe Tracer Sonya right now, deny the Tracer away from SPT if they have a solid Tracer player, once we get back into the draft, that is.
That's okay, you know. One of the players disconnecting here. That's the beauty of China, of course. Next to Korea, we have an offline environment. So if one player just disconnects, you know what? Admin goes in there, fixes things, and we're back on track.
I mean, if I'd kicked out my cable on a live event, then someone from production would have told me I'm stupid, rather than me realizing it for myself. So yeah, it's a little bit. The on-site productions are always cool and always fun and always helpful for exactly that reason, like you said.
It's really cool to see, by the way, that in this phase, for the very first time in China, we are getting a little more uniform. So the Gold Club studio used to look a lot different. It was actually a whole different studio altogether with live audience, etc., etc. Now we're basically mimicking the Western HGCs a little more here, with almost going the exact identical look here. And of course, also in terms of overlays and transitions over to the various segments, we're now much more on streamlined with, let's say, HGC, NA, or EU.
I would agree. I would agree indeed. It does look fancy, although they do seem to have a bit of a, today at least, yesterday not so much, but they do seem to have a little bit of a preference for blue waistcoats, and that has been a theme since last year as well, to be fair.
I mean, I don't blame them for that.
Yeah, I like blue. I have a blue waistcoat, but they're very similar in terms of light blue shirt, blue waistcoat, tie. Except yesterday, where Nussily was wearing something completely different, which was cool.
All right, guys, we're still waiting for the player to go back into the game. Hopefully, it's not going to take too long, too much time away from you guys, because we all want to know what the outcome of game number 2 is going to be. What was the battleground again? It was Infernal Shrines, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, Infernal Shrines. So, not the worst map for Illidan, to be honest. Not the worst map for Sonya either. So, I just really want Hugo to go back
Sonya,
on...
especially.
Yeah. I just really want Hugo to fall back on something he feels truly comfortable. Whenever he was playing a hero like Zeratul or Tyrael, that kind of new to him, right? He didn't look as impactful. We're back in the draft, by the way, guys. Still rocking those pixels every now and then. We apologize. Clean feed today is beyond our control.
Indeed it is, and Tracer has been given to SPT again. I mean, like you said, it wasn't the most game-changing, impactful thing, but it was definitely a factor towards victory for SPT. So it would be very strange to see them not pick it up again. It's possible, but I'm pretty sure we will see Tracer and then probably some kind of solo laner, maybe actually picking up a Sonya for themselves.
By the way, do you notice something strange and odd here, Tetcher? Where's Maiev?
We don't speak that name here. That's my only theory. She's been ostracized for reasons.
I mean, we have reached a point, to be fair though, in which teams have figured out ways to counter her or to shut her down.
Yeah.
And that is, of course, heroes like Johanna, that is heroes like Zeratul, who can really either disable Maiev altogether or just isolate her and then make sure that the kill will be deployed. Now, I'm not saying that Infernal Shrines is the bad map for her, quite the opposite I think is the case, but it just seems to be the case that other heroes have way higher priority, like that Tracer, like that Sonya. Once again, you take it away from Hugo, you secure it on Melody C as well. So I'm starting to get a little worried for TheOne already, right at the get-go.
You can see here, ETC being hovered as the ban by TheOne. Very interesting here. Now, the ETC as a ban in general could have definitely set up for Sonya and for Tracer, etc., and gives you a little bit of burst. Chromie also being hovered as a ban. Chromie Tracer has been run in the past to mixed success. If you can find a lovely target to hit, then you're just going to kill everything. If you can't, then you sort of just ping everyone with damage, and then they walk away, and then you have no objective power.
Definitely true. Definitely true. So the tasks are banned, although that is... Oh, I like that way more. Thank you, TheOne, for not banning the Tassador. I'm such a big defender of putting more emphasis on the Diablo, especially when there's Misaka on the enemy team. His Diablo performance at the Eastern Clash was quite astounding. One of the few bright moments I would actually say for SPT there, when they were able to get some plays done. Also, keep in mind that Diablo, of course, on Infernal Shrines can be very, very lethal. All it takes is one globe to bring him back into those shrine fights. He's so lethal when it comes to slamming people into the walls there as well. So I love that call.
We wait for the next two picks to see. With Diablo out of the question, they can potentially go a little bit riskier in terms of their assassins themselves. They already have the Hunter on their side, so potentially something else that has the power to survive Tracer, but isn't going to be punished by Diablo. For example, Tychus might be a reasonable pick for them. Tychus is very good at murdering Diablo, but he's also very short range in that minigun form, and as such is prime targeting for Diablo to shadow charge.
Definitely true. What is left here for the taking? It is Cherry again. They once again put Hugo on that Cherry, most likely. At least they have double protection now. So it's going to be a very sturdy, a very robust composition for SPT to take down. But do I like it? I do not. Uther is okay against Tracer if he goes for Hammer of the Lightbringer, maybe. More frequent stuns, maybe even the Divine Storm is not out of the possibility here just yet, when you already have a Tyrael providing invulnerable effects on that Sanctification. But still, I can't help but feel, but this is not TheOne. This is not TheOne's drafting style that made them so successful, right? This is them trying to maybe mimic of what's good at the moment. But sometimes, especially when you're down 1-0, you may want to go for something that hasn't necessarily be like super top meta, but is your own playstyle, is your own strengths. And I'm clearly lacking that for TheOne right now.
I mean, the reason TheOne's meta worked so well is because it countered the meta at the time. I would argue going for their own meta right now would be kind of disastrous because everything counters it. Heavy CC just kind of ruins the whole I am a solo melee and I destroy everything kind of strats.
With an Uther, though, I think, I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Hard to say.
I mean, obviously, there's a chance that an Illidan could pop off and just murder everything with an Uther, Divine Shielding him. There is also the chance that the Divine Shield runs out and Illidan finds himself surrounded by 5 enemies who all have over half health left because Illidan can't do enough damage on his own.
But see, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Illidan. The main thing that I don't like about this draft right now is the Tyrael in the way TheOne drafts it, right? There is a couple of situations in which Tyrael can be amazing. One, with a Blaze, right? We saw that at Western Clash, Eastern Clash. 2, with a Malfurion, because the protection styles just match each other so well. Sustained plus burst protection all in one. But the way they are drafting it, it seems to me like they're drafting it just for the sake of Tyrael, right? With Uther, of course, double protection can be good, but I'm just lacking the overall battle plan here for the one.
I'm afraid to say that I disagree. I believe that we've actually seen Tyrael and Garrosh together last phase, where Tyrael is used as a speed boost to actually give Garrosh even more threat potential and even more engaged style. And of course, the shield stacking on top of him makes Garrosh incredibly hard to kill. They have a very solid engaged composition without having to actually lose any of the self-protection that Tyrael gives.
All right, let's see if they can turn it around with that.
Oh, it's definitely going to lose, but it's a cool idea.
No, it's all right. I mean, it's cool to see maybe they can finally break the curse of them looking for that first victory, still the one that is. And it would certainly be a big morale boost if they were able to overcome SPT. I mean, Sunny Lion, they showed us yesterday that Game 2 can oftentimes be, you know, the game to take away a victory from SPT.
Yeah. You know what? I take it back. I take that back. The one looked really good in game number 1, and this is the map that Sunnyline did beat the one SPT on. And I do like the one's comp. I actually do think it has the majority of the tools they need. I have taken back my vote, and I am going for the one.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, if you want to let us know what your thoughts are, then you can always cheer for your respective teams. You can even tweet at us at KimDixWish, at Tetcher, if you want us to like and retweet your stuffies, and definitely make sure to hit us up here. In the meantime, we're going to check in on Infernal Shrines right for that little circle to ruin all of our momentum here.
Just in time. All right,
what are you sitting at, bro,
I'll tell you my latency in a second. Okay, like 12 apparently.
Okay, I think we're still in the same track though. It jumps between 10 and 12 now.
13 apparently.
Seems good. You know what? We're just gonna stick to it.
Yeah, so let's just go. Let's just do it. All right, so we will introduce the players as they all run into each other headfirst in the middle of lanes. But it's gonna be a tough matchup for Hanzo, as he has gone for redemption. A little bit risky against the Tracer because, well, Tracer can just one-shot Hanzo, and that has been repeatedly shown.
Yeah. All right. So Johanna, by the way, going for the lower cooldown on Iron Skin and the longer or the bigger shield amount. So she's going to try to be as resilient as humanly possible against all that CC that could come in. The arrow from Hanzo later on. Of course, all the combos by Garrosh and Uther stuns as well. Cool to see that.
All right, so rotations probably happening. Yes, they are. I can see it again. No one playing super hyper-aggressive except for Tracer, looking for cheeky kills every now and again.
All right. Isn't it cool to see how Justice for All is still like the go-to talent despite seeing a little bit of a nerf lately? It's really...
It's a nerf live? I guess it would be. Yeah. Yeah, it's still pretty cool. It's still protection for the team. Still value. You gotta keep your team alive. Get that value that way.
Right, well, we're hopping from one frame to the other. We're going to try and make out a team that could probably strike a first advantage here. Molly Misaka fighting against Hehe and Lucky. Looks like the mercenary camp stolen by the one. Well done.
Nice job by the one, able to take that. Soap also survives in the top lane, but Hugo, once again, holding the lane very nicely, only losing a single tower and keeping his own health bar very high.
Misaka trying to deal with those impalers, but of course Johanna is not really known for hitting very hard against a single target, and her wave clear doesn't really work out too well against just the two impalers either. She's definitely more of a hero when it comes to dealing with mercenary minion waves. My excuses, my apologies. Sorry, man, but these stutterings and these frame hops that we have to endure for almost 3 hours now are starting to have an effect on my brain.
Indeed, our apologies,
They're slowing
audience.
me down, causing me to talk like this.
In terms of actual brain lag. As we do see Molly coming in for an attempted harass, trying to put on any pressure that he can, but only able to really clean up the camp.
Misaka brawling and dueling Hugo in the top lane. Hugo, by the way, going for the Bound by Law talent here, which is interesting. I'm a big fan of that talent, by the way. I didn't even pay attention to what he was picking before, but Bound by Law at level 4, of course, slowing down enemies hit by Eldrin's Might, and once Tyrael actually blinks towards the sword, he's going to reapply that 30% movement speed slow with every basic attack for 4 seconds. So that is huge. That is almost as good as, let's say, a Frozen Tempest from Arthas. It's a strong chasing tool.
It really is. It's really hard to actually run away in that kind of scenario. Uther, on the other hand, ZJZ has actually been farming up his level 1 talent. He has once again gone for the Hammer of the Lightbringer, and it's good mana regen. It's going to keep him alive, and with the rest of his team, which seems to be very melee heavy, they do kind of want to grab something here. Something is happening. I'm hearing Tyrael. Okay, it's an escape attempt. An engage attempt tried to trap Molly, and they might just get him. I think they got him.
We should probably...
Thank you, sound effects. They got him.
Sometimes we almost feel like blind casters, right? We're trying to cast the games off sound exclusively because
I mean, I went by the map announcer just told me that they got a kill, and I was like, oh, sweet.
Exactly. All right. So the first shrine looking good for the one. They're once again the team that is putting on the pressure, turning on the heat in the early game. Can they actually take it all the way through to the later stages? Can they be consistent? SPT, they're trying to actually still fight over the shrine. They're not trying to get value elsewhere. They're willing to take the risk, and they're willing to try and make something happen.
As Soap begins cleaning up, doing Sonya things. They're very behind, like you said, they're one of a huge lead currently on this objective. And even running back to the fountain, they're going to try and take the fight. Pre-level 7, very risky here. They're not in the range. The minions are so pushed up, and the next minion wave hasn't arrived yet to give them that level 7. As such, SPT will catch up here and be able to put themselves at least on even shots. Things are happening. It is going to be a nice pull-in by Johanna, trying to get Hehe.
He actually overtook the one in terms of skeleton counts here with their strong AoE and zoning. Gul'dan, Sonya, that's so much damage here, and they actually did it, Tetcher. SPT taking the first Punisher of the game with the power of raw AoE damage.
The Malfurion zoning route as well was really quite the big deal in guaranteeing that for them. Very good job. As we see the Garrosh actually being chased down. Soap and Barely see they want him. Armor value though, get baited by Garrosh. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make anything from that bait due to the Punisher. They are currently taking all the shots from that fort.
LDC drops a little low there. He's going to have to wait for a couple of Moonfires to land by Malfurion. The Pulse Bomb exploding. Tyrael is so low. It is now Misaka though, overextending a little bit, but the improved Iron Skin shields here keeping him safe and sound for now, thanks to level 1 talent he chose.
Yep, he got out. He's fine, but that was very scary there for a little bit, so it is all good. Soap has retreated back to take a Khazra camp, put even more pressure onto that middle lane, as Hehe attempts to gain more stacks.
So, level 10 is going to be ever so close here for SPT as well. That's going to be a huge time for Tracer to force even more pressure onto heroes like Hanzo. Lucky, by the way, using the Sonic Arrow to apply a little bit of poke over the wall here. And he knows on that Garrosh, he knows that he needs to make something happen, as otherwise SPT can just always stall it out a little more.
He gains one more stack and continues to interrupt and harass the members of SPT, as SPT continue to steal everything on the map because they have map control.
They've got map control indeed. Here we go. The Impalers go over to SPT. Tyrael, by the way, is just struggling so hard in that solo lane. He's getting outpushed by the fact that Sonya has superior wave clear. Look at Sonya. She's actually dealing with 2 lanes at the same time, while Hugo is sitting on this lonely, isolated island here like a sad angel, and not really able to do a whole lot.
SPT continue to well, do as much as they can. They also can't actually do a whole lot without committing, because their minion waves are actually slower than they have the capability of pushing with. So they're actually being slowed down purely by the walking pace of minions in terms of their push potential. But finally, minion wave arrives and they will grab both these towers.
Yeah, they're going to take both those towers, maybe even more here with the help of the Impalers. Level 10 is still not there. I think Johanna is trying to bait a couple of abilities here. Keep in mind, she does have the Iron Skin and the Blessed Shield just in case she needs to go. But even Johanna can't fight the stutter image that is our Chinese community right now. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I think she lived. Yep, she lived. All good. Good job, Johanna. No heroics burn, Tyrael. I expect you picked Sank, but I can't tell you. Couldn't tell you for sure.
There you go, Sank. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
So we have double protection here with Sanctification and the Divine Shield. That, of course, benefits heroes like Greymane quite a bit here. Even Garrosh could use it quite well with the movement speed and the ability to basically just approach this target uninterruptedly. Now, I really want to see what TheOne is going to try and do here. If they play the way they were playing in this game up to this point, I think they're going to get slowly but surely outpushed thanks to the superior wave clear that SPT has at their disposal. So, can they make that aggressive play happen? Remains to be seen. I really want them to turn it up a little bit more here.
You probably could have ended that sentence after the fourth word, to be fair, or that previous statement.
Yeah, strong wave clear.
I just want to see.
No,
the very first one.
I can't remember what I said. I've got the memory of a goldfish.
I just want to see.
I just want to see. Yeah, very true. I just want to see actual gameplay, Tetcher. That's all I desire.
I think they're going to fight top. Tanzo's not here yet, and he is not global. It's going to take him a long time to rotate. I can hear noises. Okay, they were fighting a mercenary camp. Okay.
Fighting mercenary camps and skeletons at the shrine. We can hear Gul'dan with continuous wave clearing, continuous spell laning. Yeah,
Garrosh is trying to zone, prevent SPT from moving back onto the point, as SPT do have the current lead, but Soap is not caring, because if Garrosh throws Soap into his team, then Soap's going to throw a spear into his friend.
Down. He says goodbye. No, he lives. Incredible.
He lives for the moment. Gul'dan is taken out. The Sanctification able to keep the rest of the members alive, and they're actually going to grab 3, maybe 4 members as Soap is targeted. The spear does not land whirlwind value though, but Soap is going to something.
And this time it looks like TheOne cracked the defenses of SPT, but I still see Tetcher an unused Horrify, and that is a crime that oftentimes leads to the punishment of losing team fights.
Yeah, he must have been hit by something in order to have prevented that from going down. That's all I can think of, but that was super required. Okay, let's see if this is any better.
The replay's mimicking the lags
there we go.
of the actual blade. No!
Yeah, Dragon Arrow is what's interrupted the Horrify. Yeah, that could have been very different, but he got completely zoned after that, and it didn't matter. So, yeah, solid job by Hanzo there with a good Dragon Arrow.
Purple Punisher, the Arcane Punisher, is furious as it punches and pounds on the top board of SPT. Nice Iron Skin here by Misaka, evading the Garrosh combo. Sonya, in the meantime, going for bottom mercs, which is cool. Basically, she's mirroring the movements of Hanzo, trying to soak 2 lanes at the same time, which results in the team not losing all too much of experience overall.
Sonya needs to be careful though. The rest of the members of TheOne are moving in, looking for the opportunity to try and kill her.
I think the Dragon's Era connected their blow of Sonya to pieces. Well done by Lucky here, with a Lucky Strike actually from all the way downtown in the bottom lane. That was a well-coordinated and a well-aimed arrow.
Yeah, his team had Sonya locked down for so long that he was able to not have to worry. Like he said, well coordinated by the team. Garrosh burning the taunt to make sure Sonya wasn't going anywhere.
14-14. TheOne applying even more pressure. And as good as Johanna's survival is here, right? She always escapes the onslaught, but she offers very little in these actual team fights up to this point. Sonya is about to rejoin the fray, though. She doesn't have leap, so no crazy flanking maneuvers to be expected, like Zhuyu did in the previous set with CE facing BTG. Legendary flanking attempt here. More traditional approach with that Wrath of Berserker, so more predictable as well for the enemies to read.
And Sonya continues to once again soak her team, trying to keep them up in terms of XP, soaking in the top lane, pushing up the pressure. For the rest of SPT, just still playing quite aggressively, considering they are a level behind, but they're even on talents, so it is a reasonable move to make, and it is, of course, Johanna and Tracer being the ones who are playing far forward, the 2 heroes with the best chance of escaping.
Right now, Sonya actually brawling Tyrael underneath the top board, and actually getting rid of it altogether. The cleanse of Malfurion, the anti-stun talent at level 7 comes through. And Hugo, he just struggles so much. Tyrael just doesn't have the damage, doesn't have the kill potential to stop a Sonya from doing what she does best. And that is pushing in and demolishing buildings next to minions and mercenaries alike. Speaking of mercenaries, Fallen Shamans now probably launched and taken by both teams. Oh, if he comes in there in time and he steps on the platform, the roots are not good enough. The self-cleanse is real, and Hihi is initiating a team fight.
I am so far behind. This has not happened for me yet. I'll refresh.
Huge Horrify coming in there, but it was not enough. Despite a 4-man Horrify, SPT lost both of their frontliners once more. And could it be the one game that gives them the first point in their current phase record? Now, we're going to use that time to refresh together. I'm going to tell you what I'm sitting at. 19. All right, we're going to... That showed a couple of circles. I'm sitting at 6 something. Yeah, a circle here as well.
Not about to be 6. 8:59.
7-7. That has to be enough.
Close enough. As we see TheOne move on to the point, then we're going to begin taking down this shrine as Misako looking to have words about this plan, and the rest of the team showing up just in time. Once again, even talents this time, but a level lead. Misaka tanking through the initial Grey Men engage, and Tracer gets deleted. No chance. Twilight Dream is good, though, for the potential counter-engage. Gul'dan, Horrify in 4 seconds. This could be their chance to attempt to turn it around. Soap is still alive. Good Horrify could allow them to fight, but they don't want to take the risk.
No Tracer equals no kill potential, very likely, against heroes like Hanzo and Greymane. So I like what SPT did. Once again, the Melody Seed, not the best of days today. So many deaths on Tracer. I thought that hero was way harder to kill, but the one, they make it look so easy. And with that Immortal, I think it's an Infernal, it's a Mortar one. They're definitely going to demolish the walls and maybe even take the keep. And SPT now, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to have to be super careful about not overstaying and overextending, because if they lose only 1 or 2 members, that could actually be game.
So ironically, I actually had a spinny circle right after this pause came in. So 1580, 1182 apparently. Nope, 965. Stream, can you like pick a number?
Yeah, the stream is all over the place right now.
1583 apparently.
I'm sitting at 11 something.
I'll refresh. Yeah, it's not exactly yeah, that's fun. But we do have a quick pause, ladies and gentlemen. A good time to do it, as opposed to after the Punisher arrives at the base. So pretty solid time for that to happen. 12 summon, that'll do, close enough.
12?
12 summon. You said you were on 11, so...
Oh, I can't do that. I refreshed a couple of times and I'm sitting at 8 now.
Refreshing. 0, apparently. 9, there we go.
Alright, that'll do. We're back in the game, guys. Looks like there was some minor issue going on, but we're glad that it won't take the lags and stutter image too long away from us. So, here goes the Punisher. Here goes the swap. Here goes...
Throw is good. Circle isn't. The sanctification isn't good. It moves in. That actually blocks the pulse bomb. Sanctification. That is going to keep someone alive, whoever that was dropped on. I really can't tell. It's mostly just colors at this point, as they are moving in. Moving in with the job of the Punisher, but Johanna survives the Horrify onto Hihi. Not the ideal target, but they do still kill him off. And so do they get Tyrael. Lucky will die to poison unless Uther can heal him in time.
Yeah, Lucky is dead. We see him now on the death timer as well. The Punisher is still going strong. Mang wants to take a bite or two, but he is denied his food for now. Very unhappy doggy that Greyman must be. And SPT, they did it, Tetra. They did it. They held on to the bottom keep. Strong Horrify, strong damage output from Gul'dan in particular. And this could be the turning point. Once again, could TheOne struggle when it comes to finishing and closing out those games again?
Seems to be a possibility. I'm getting a serious case of deja vu, and as such, Tracer is helping our team push in the bot lane. Moving
going for the
straight for their first keep of the game.
Yeah, they're doing it. I mean, I think they've realized that with... No, wait. I think they're...
Johanna doesn't have enough health.
Yeah, Johanna didn't have enough health to tank the shots. At least they got a tower.
This is so clever. Uther, I think, just actually saved his team the game by ignoring the enemy team. the fact that he went top lane instead of defending. If he defended, Malfurion could have moonfired. Johanna would be tanky enough to maybe move on and start damaging the keep. Instead, Uther just goes top lane, gets his team XP, gets them towards level 20, and Johanna's too low to even attempt to do damage to the keep.
That's a really good point. Like, running away from the enemy team to help defending. Next
Guys,
level.
I helped. I'm flip pushing top.
200 IQ plays by Uther.
Alright, well, my delay is something. I'll tell you when it gives me an accurate number.
You know what? I don't think it even matters, Thatcher, because we're not going to be able to cast anything in a proper, decent fashion anyways.
True,
so
we need to try and stay at least close. 14, almost on the dot. Dragon Arrow!
Field goal!
Okay, yeah, alright.
Going right in the middle. But it was a good
Of course,
attempt.
that's the bit that plays at 30 frames. Good effort, good effort. Hanzo didn't even global in. Didn't even decide to teleport.
But that is a good point to mention. I mean, if Hanzo goes for play of the game at level 20, that means, of course, that he becomes a global hero. That means he can actually do things that Falset or heroes like Tahaka can normally do. He can be on the other end of the map, and the arrow doesn't even need to connect. You can activate it manually at any given moment.
As they see the push into the bot lane.
That's a
Round
good
2 on this keep, and SPT are not even close to being able to get in range of this. This keep will fall.
That was just a little sleepy here on the side of SPT. They should have always had one person to scout the perimeter, because that low keep was just begging to get backdoored. On the other hand, it was a really sneaky move and a good move by the One, realizing that with the help of level 20, they could have probably forced it anyways. And of course, going for a rotation where they would probably not get spotted so easily. So well played by the One. This is definitely going to be a big boon when it comes to maybe winning that second, top lane altar.
Smart move by the One as well. Oh, hang on. There's the Tauros challenge, and Malf is gone. Looking for more. Chucks in Hugo, who moves right behind Molly, and it's an easy kill.
That could actually be game if the One just goes for the core right now. Melody C needs to dismount a couple of people. That was so huge, by the way. That sanctification was insane. Completely absorbing the Horrified like a sponge. So well done here, and that could have actually been game. Now, keep in mind that the One, they still need to rush over. They still need to get there in the first place. They're getting slowed down by the middle fort. They're getting slowed by Misaka as well. And all of a sudden, I'm not even sure if they can do it anymore.
Tracer survived. She was able to port back. Sonya is here. She's cleared the lanes. Now it is a fight. It's a 3 versus 5, but the members of the One have been lessened in their health. Misaka is desperately trying to slow down. Soap is getting targeted. That's bad news for him. Misaka is almost certainly going to die. Indestructible. Meng picks off 2 heroes. That's basically it now. Wow. Misaka can't do this alone. Malfurion is back soon, but he can't do it either. Even Twilight Dream will not save this. He's going to Astral Communion in as a last-ditch effort. Not if he's going to get interrupted. No, he's just going to leave it. He can't do anything. That is GG. Kills off Uther for good measure.
Wow.
But the One take the 1-1 and earn themselves their first point.
Are you kidding me? Meng did it again on that Greymane, jumping from kill to kill with a cooldown reset on Go for the Throat like an absolute madman. He was taking down the backline of SPT and securing a successful core rush. Well done here, and looks like SPT, they did it again. Not in a good way, though. They managed to get the first win under their belt and then succumbed to the pressure of the One. And this was a big achievement for them. For the first time, they take a map of SPT in their HGC China history.
And that is good news for the One, because it means that they're not going to be